All right, so we're kicking off this deep dive, and are you ready to boost your financial know-how?
Always ready.
It's so easy to get lost with all the information out there.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's why we do these deep dives. We're going to break down the essentials from a podcast episode called Financial Literacy for Beginners.
This one's part one.
Oh, this is part one, yeah.
We'll get you started.
We'll extract the good stuff, tailor it to you.
Get you on your financial journey.
Yes.
I like how they started with the why of financial literacy,
Oh, interesting.
not just the how.
Okay.
They use this analogy of navigating a city without a map.
Oh, yeah, I've totally been there, like
We've all been there,
wandering around.
lost, wishing you'd planned.
Yes. So how does that apply to personal finance?
Well, it shows how financial literacy gives you the tools to navigate your financial life confidently. It's about understanding your income, expenses, goals,
Right.
because you can make informed decisions and avoid pitfalls.
It's like having a financial GPS.
It's exactly guiding your decisions. And speaking of understanding your finances, the podcast jumps into income and expenses.
I was going to say, that's the foundation, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Of everything.
They define income as any money you earn from your job, investments,
Oh, right. Okay.
maybe that awesome side hustle you're working on.
Yeah.
Expenses are what you spend, your rent, groceries, bills, everything. The key is to track both.
So not just how much you make, but where it all goes.
Exactly. You mentioned you want to buy a house one day.
Oh, yeah, that's the dream.
By tracking expenses, you can identify where you could cut back, free up cash for your down payment.
Okay.
Think of it as finding hidden treasure.
I like that. What about like specific tools for tracking all this?
They suggested apps, spreadsheets, even a simple notebook.
Right.
The method matters less than finding what works for you and sticking with it. They also talked about fixed versus variable expenses.
Oh, can you break that down? I'm not sure I get the difference.
Okay, so fixed expenses stay pretty much the same each month. Rent, mortgage payments,
Right.
car payments. Variable expenses, they fluctuate.
Gotcha.
Think groceries, entertainment, that spontaneous online shopping spree.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Understanding this helps you analyze your spending and adjust.
So if I'm saving for a house, maybe I should look closer at those variable expenses.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about making choices that match your goals.
That leads us to the dreaded B word,
Uh-oh.
budgeting. I cringe a little when I hear that word. How does the podcast deal with that?
They reframe it as a roadmap, not a restriction.
Oh.
A tool to help you reach your goals, like buying that dream house.
I like that. A roadmap to freedom. How do we create this roadmap?
They talk about the 50-30-20 rule, a guideline to allocate your after-tax income. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings, and debt repayment.
Okay, break that down for me. What's considered a need?
Needs are your essentials: housing, utilities, transportation, groceries,
Yeah.
debt payments, insurance, things you absolutely need to function.
And 30% for wants. That's where we get to have fun, right?
Absolutely. Things that bring joy, enhance your life, but aren't essential.
Right.
Dining out, travel, hobbies,
Got it.
new clothes. Be mindful. Make sure your want spending aligns with your goals.
Balance, right. Enjoying life, but staying on track. And the 20% for savings and debt, I know that's important, but can be tough.
It's essential. It helps you build a safety net, tackle debt, invest in your future. They really emphasized an emergency fund.
That's something I've been meaning to get serious about. What does that look like?
It's money set aside for unexpected events, like a car repair
Okay.
or a medical bill. It prevents those situations from ruining your finances.
Peace of mind. How much should I aim for?
They recommended starting with $500 to $1,000. You mentioned buying a house. So in your case, maybe aim a bit higher, perhaps $1,500 to start. Then work towards 3 to 6 months of living expenses.
3 to 6 months. That seems like a lot. How do I do that?
One tip is to automate your savings.
Okay.
Set up automatic transfers from checking to savings each month, even a small amount.
That's a great idea.
It takes the willpower out. And you can increase it as you get comfortable. It's about building a habit.
So we've covered a lot. The importance of financial literacy, understanding income and expenses, creating a budget, the emergency fund. It's a solid foundation.
It is, and it's encouraging that this podcast has a part 2. They dig deeper into debt management and credit.
That's great. We should check that out. What
Yeah.
stands out to you so far?
Building that emergency fund, it ties into another concept they talked about,
Okay.
managing debt.
Yeah, debt. Definitely something on my mind, especially with the house goal.
This part will be really relevant for you with the student loans.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They jumped right into credit scores.
Okay.
describing it as a snapshot of your financial track record,
Interesting.
like a report card for borrowed money.
Why should I care about that number so much?
Well, it might seem like just a number,
Yeah.
but lenders use it to decide if they'll give you a loan.
Oh, okay.
And at what interest rate. You mentioned buying a house. The good score means lower rates on your mortgage. Could save you thousands.
Thousands. Okay, I get it. How do I even know what my score is?
They recommend checking your credit report regularly.
Okay.
You could do it for free
Oh, nice.
from each of the 3 major credit bureaus. That way you can catch any errors that might be hurting your score,
Like what kind of errors?
like an incorrect late payment
Oh, wow.
or even identity theft.
Mm-hmm.
Building good credit, it takes time,
Yeah.
but it's about showing you're responsible with money,
What habits do I need to show them then?
paying bills on time every single
Of
time,
course. Yeah.
keeping credit card balances low.
Okay.
They mentioned aiming for under 30% of your available credit and avoid opening too many new accounts at once.
Got it. So showing I can be trusted. But what about the debt I already have?
They talked about good versus bad debt.
Yes. That was interesting. Can you explain that more?
Good debt is an investment in something that'll grow in value,
Okay.
like a mortgage or a loan for education. It's about using debt to build your future.
So good debt can actually be a positive thing.
It's about being strategic. Bad debt is high interest. Doesn't help you build wealth.
Right. The kind that gets out of control.
Exactly. Credit card debt, payday loans.
Yeah.
Minimize those.
Definitely. Any tips for managing it all, especially with multiple debts like mine?
They mentioned the snowball method.
Okay.
You pay off your smallest debt first, no matter the interest.
Okay.
Builds momentum. Then there's the avalanche method. Tackle highest interest first to save money.
So it's about finding what works for you. What about investing? Should I even be thinking about that yet with loans?
It's worth exploring, even if you don't jump in right away.
Okay.
They broke it down simply. It's about putting your money to work
I like that.
by buying assets that grow your wealth over time.
That makes sense, but it feels overwhelming. Stocks, bonds, real estate, where do I begin?
They emphasize it's personal, no one right way.
Right.
Know your goals, risk tolerance, and your time horizon.
Risk tolerance.
How comfortable you are with potentially losing money.
Oh,
Some people are okay with higher risk for higher potential returns.
yeah.
Others are more conservative.
So for saving for a house, maybe being conservative is better.
Exactly. Match your investments to your goals. And if you're unsure, a financial advisor can be a great resource.
Like a financial coach.
Exactly. They can create a personalized plan.
So we've covered credit scores, debt, even touched on investing.
And it's all applicable to buying a house.
Yeah.
These pieces are important, but the real magic is seeing how they fit into your whole plan.
Okay, I'm excited to start putting it together. What's next? All right, so we've covered budgeting, credit scores, debt, even investing. What about putting it all together?
Yeah, that's where it gets real. Time to move from theory to practice, create a roadmap, your financial plan.
A roadmap, I like that. But honestly, creating a whole plan sounds a little daunting. Where do we even start?
It starts with defining your goals, both short-term and long-term. Remember we talked about buying a house?
Oh, yeah, that's the dream.
That's a great long-term goal. But we also need the stepping stones to get there.
Besides buying the house, what kind of short-term goals should I be thinking about?
Think about what needs to happen financially to reach that house goal. We've already discussed boosting your emergency fund
Right.
and managing that student loan debt.
Yeah, okay.
Those are great short-term goals that feed into the bigger picture.
I see. So those smaller goals help me get to the big one.
Exactly. They build momentum, set you up for success. You could also think about saving for a down payment.
Even if the house feels far off.
Even then,
Yeah.
starting now, even small amounts can make a huge difference.
So breaking it down into smaller steps. Okay, I like that. But what about the actual plan part? What does that look like?
A financial plan is like a blueprint.
Okay.
It outlines your goals, where you are now financially, and how you'll get from here to there.
Gotcha.
It's a living document. It changes as your life does.
That makes sense. How do I make this blueprint? Are there tools that can help?
Definitely. Tons of resources.
Yeah.
Budgeting apps, online calculators, books, websites.
Okay,
You could even work with a financial advisor for more personal guidance.
that's good to know. So besides the tools, what needs to be in this plan?
Well, we've already talked about goals. It should also include your income and expenses, assets and debts, your investment strategy, a plan for managing risks too.
Risk. Like what?
Things like insurance, for health, disability, your property.
Wow, okay, it covers everything. But with all the numbers and planning, what about the emotional side of money? I know that affects my decisions sometimes.
That's so important. Financial well-being isn't just about the numbers. It's also about how you think and feel about money. This podcast didn't really go into that,
Right.
but it's good to keep in mind.
Do you have any tips for that? Dealing with the emotions around money?
Awareness is key. Notice your spending patterns. What triggers you? Do you overspend when you're stressed?
Oh, yeah.
Avoid thinking about finances when it feels overwhelming.
Yeah, sometimes.
Recognizing those patterns is the first step to changing them.
So being honest with myself. Maybe instead of shopping when I'm stressed, I'll try something else that makes me happy.
Exactly. Find balance, make your spending match your values. And remember, it's a journey. There will be ups and downs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Be kind to yourself, celebrate your wins, learn from any mistakes.
I love that. So, as we wrap up this whole deep dive, what are the key takeaways?
We covered a lot, but it boils down to this. Understand your finances, set goals, make a plan, and watch out for those emotions. Financial well-being is possible.
And this deep dive has given you the tools to get started. You don't have to do everything at once. Start small, stay consistent, celebrate your progress. You've got this. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time on the deep dive.
Hey there. Welcome back for part 2 of our financial literacy deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how we laid the groundwork last time with budgeting and emergency funds?
Right.
Well, today,
Yeah.
we're building on that foundation
Okay.
and tackling the big stuff.
Right.
Debt, credit scores,
Yes.
and even dipping our toes into the world of investing.
That's right. We're moving from the foundation to the framing, so to speak.
Ooh.
These next steps are all about building a strong financial structure.
Okay, so let's talk debt.
Okay.
Our sources are really clear about distinguishing between good and bad debt.
Right.
Good debt, like a mortgage or a student loan,
Mm-hmm.
could be a strategic move.
Uh-huh.
But bad debt, like high-interest credit cards,
Oh, yeah.
that's where things can get tricky.
It's not just about the type of debt, but the psychology behind it.
Oh, interesting.
High-interest credit cards are designed to trap you in a cycle of spending and debt.
Oh.
It's like a financial treadmill that's hard to get off of.
Yeah, I've definitely been there. Remember that time I racked up a credit card bill buying those limited edition sneakers? I swore I was going to resell them for a profit, but let's just say that didn't quite go as planned.
Happens to the best of us.
Oh, it does?
But the first step to tackling debt is confronting it head on.
Okay.
Our source recommends listing out all your debts, including balances and interest rates.
Yeah.
It can be a painful exercise, but it's crucial for gaining clarity and control.
Facing the music, huh? Well, once we've got our debt inventory, what's next?
Then comes strategizing your repayment.
Okay.
The source highlights two popular methods,
Right.
the avalanche and the snowball.
Okay.
The avalanche method targets high-interest debt first, saving you money in the long run.
So it's like tackling the biggest, meanest debt monster first.
Exactly.
Got it.
But it can take longer to see progress.
Okay.
The snowball method, on the other hand, focuses on paying off the smallest debts first, regardless of interest.
Yeah.
This can be motivating as you get those quick wins and build momentum. It's really about understanding what motivates you.
So which method is better?
There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
It depends on your personality and financial situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But here's a pro tip from the source that many people overlook:
Oh,
negotiating with lenders.
wait. You can actually negotiate with the big financial institutions?
Absolutely. You have more power than you think.
Wow.
Lenders are often willing to work with borrowers, especially those with a good payment history.
Okay.
Remember, it's a business for them, too.
Right.
They'd rather keep a customer paying a lower interest rate than risk losing them entirely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm starting to feel a little more empowered already.
Good.
But let's move on to credit scores.
Okay.
They seem so mysterious and all-powerful.
Yeah.
Like this 3-digit number that determines your financial destiny.
Right. It's like this magical number.
Yeah.
They're definitely important, but they're not as mysterious as you might think. Our source describes them as a snapshot of your financial responsibility, influencing everything from interest rates on loans to credit card offers, even car insurance premiums.
So a good credit score can actually save you money in the long run.
That's right. Wow.
A higher score signals to lenders that you're a reliable borrower, which translates into better terms and lower costs.
That makes sense.
Now, the source breaks down exactly what impacts your score.
Okay.
And get this,
Yeah.
payment history holds a whopping 35% weight.
35%. You're telling me that one late payment can seriously mess things up?
It can definitely make a dent, but remember, consistency is key.
Okay.
Setting up payment reminders or automating payments can help you avoid those costly slip-ups.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Another major factor is credit utilization, making up 30% of your score.
All right.
This refers to the percentage of available credit you're using.
Okay. Credit utilization, got it. But how do I calculate that?
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Just divide your total credit card balances by your total credit limit.
The golden rule is to keep that ratio below 30%.
Okay.
This is where paying down your debt can really boost your score. It's like a 2-for-1 deal, less debt A&D, a better credit score.
That makes total sense.
All right.
Now, how do we find out what our credit score is?
Remember those free annual credit reports you're entitled to from the major credit bureaus?
Oh, yeah.
Take advantage of those.
Okay.
It's like getting a financial health checkup.
Right.
You can spot any errors and even dispute inaccuracies that might be dragging down your score.
It's like being your own financial detective.
Exactly.
I like that.
So make a note to check those reports.
Okay.
It's one of the most empowering things you can do for your financial well-being.
Awesome.
Now, are you ready to take a deep dive into investing?
To be honest, that's always been the part that intimidates me.
I understand.
I mean, where do you even begin? It's like a whole different language.
It can feel overwhelming, but the source emphasizes one key principle.
Okay.
Start early.
Okay, what?
And here's why. Compound interest.
Go.
Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger as it gathers more snow.
Okay.
That's compound interest in action.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
All right.
Break that down for me.
It's the concept of earning interest on your initial investment
Huh?
and then earning interest on that interest and so on.
Okay.
Let's say you invest $1,000 at a 7% annual return.
Go ahead.
After a year, you'd have earned $70 in interest.
All right.
But here's the magic.
Yeah.
In year 2, you're earning 7% on $1,070, not just the original $1,000. It's a snowball effect that can supercharge your returns over time.
So even if I don't have a lot to invest right now, starting early can make a huge difference down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Time is your greatest ally when it comes to investing.
Right.
Earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow exponentially.
Yeah.
But even if you're starting later, it's still worth it to invest.
Okay.
Don't let that snowball melt away.
All right. I'm convinced.
Good.
Starting early is key.
Yeah.
But where do I actually put my money?
That's where diversification comes in.
Okay.
Our source uses a great analogy.
Right.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that one.
Spreading your investments across different asset classes like stocks, bonds, and real estate
Okay.
helps reduce risk.
Okay. So not putting all my money into that meme stock everyone's talking about.
Probably a wise decision.
Okay.
Diversification is about building a balanced portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and financial goals.
Okay.
Speaking of goals,
Yeah.
the source emphasizes the importance of aligning your investments with your aspirations.
Yeah.
What are you saving for? Retirement, a house, that dream trip around the world.
Well, I've always dreamed of opening a cat cafe.
That's awesome.
That's the dream.
Knowing your why helps determine your investment timeline and risk tolerance.
Okay.
If you're saving for a short-term goal, like a down payment on a house in a few years, you'll want to choose more conservative investments. But if you're investing for retirement decades from now,
okay.
you have more time to ride out market fluctuations and can take on more risk.
So it's all about matching your investments to your timeline and comfort level with risk.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Now, here's another crucial factor. The source highlights costs. Fees associated with investing can eat into your returns over time.
Really?
It's like paying a hidden tax on your investment.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
No.
Okay, so how do we avoid those pesky fees?
The source recommends index funds and ETFs as great options for beginners.
Index funds and ETFs. Okay.
Think of them as baskets of stocks or bonds that track a particular market index, like the S&P 500.
Okay.
They offer built-in diversification at a low cost.
So instead of trying to pick individual stocks, I can invest in a whole bunch of companies at once with an index fund or ETF.
You got it.
I like that.
It's a simplified way to invest without having to become a Wall Street whiz.
Right.
And remember, the lower the fees, the more of your returns stay in your pocket.
That's music to my ears.
All right.
Okay, so we've talked about earning and growing our money.
Yes.
But what about protecting what we've built?
Excellent point.
Yeah.
Building wealth isn't just about accumulating assets.
Right.
It's also about safeguarding them.
Okay.
Our source covers 3 key areas:
Right.
insurance, retirement savings, and estate planning.
Okay.
Let's start with insurance.
Okay, insurance.
Yeah.
Not the most exciting topic, but I guess it's important.
Think of insurance as your financial safety net.
Okay.
Life is unpredictable,
Yeah, true.
and unexpected events like accidents, illnesses, or natural disasters can happen to anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Having the right insurance coverage can protect you from financial ruin.
Okay, that's a sobering thought, but I get it.
Yeah,
Better to be safe than sorry.
exactly.
All right.
Now let's talk about retirement savings.
Okay.
Remember that magical concept of compound interest?
Oh, yes.
This is where it really shines.
Oh.
The earlier you start contributing to retirement accounts like a 401k or IRA,
Yeah.
the more time your money has to grow exponentially.
So it's like planting a seed that will blossom into a beautiful retirement tree someday.
Perfect analogy.
I like that.
And the more you contribute, the more robust that tree will be.
Okay.
Plus, many employers offer matching contributions to retirement plans, which is essentially free money.
Free money. Sign me up.
Don't miss out on that opportunity.
I won't.
Okay, last but not least, let's tackle estate planning.
Estate planning.
This might seem like a topic for later in life,
Yeah.
but it's never too early to start thinking about it.
Estate planning. I thought that was just for rich people with mansions and yachts.
Not at all.
Okay.
Estate planning, in its simplest form,
Yeah.
is about ensuring your wishes are followed if something were to happen to you.
Okay.
It involves creating legal documents like a will
Oh, okay.
that outline how you want your assets distributed.
So it's about having a plan in place to protect my loved ones.
Ex-
That's a good idea.
It's a responsible step that can provide peace of mind for both you and your family.
Yeah.
And don't forget about your digital assets.
What are those?
Your online accounts, social media profiles, even your cryptocurrency holdings. These all need to be considered as part of your estate plan.
Wow. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
So estate planning is like creating a roadmap for your legacy, both physical and digital.
You got it?
Okay. That was a lot to take in.
It was a lot.
We covered everything from debt management to credit scores, investing, and even estate planning.
We did.
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed,
Yeah.
but also really empowered.
Good.
It's like a whole new world of financial possibilities has opened up.
That's exactly the feeling we want you to have.
Yeah.
It's about breaking down those complex topics into manageable steps and giving you the tools to take control of your financial well-being.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we've talked about building a strong financial foundation and framing the structure with things like debt management and credit scores.
Yeah.
But, something that's always baffled me is this idea of financial success.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
That's such a great question. And
Yeah.
the source actually touches on this.
Oh, it does.
It's easy to get caught up in the numbers game,
Yeah.
how much money you have, what you can buy,
Uh-huh.
but true financial success goes beyond that.
Okay.
It's about aligning your finances with your values
Right.
and creating a life that feels fulfilling.
Okay, so it's less about the stuff and more about the why behind it all.
Exactly. It's
Huh.
about using your financial resources
Yeah.
to support your goals, your passions, the things that bring you joy and meaning.
Right.
Maybe it's traveling the world,
Yeah.
starting your own business,
Oh, yeah.
or having the flexibility to spend more time with loved ones.
Yeah.
Financial success is a personalized concept.
I love that. It takes the pressure off of chasing some arbitrary definition of wealth
Right.
and instead focuses on what truly matters to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that leads us perfectly into the next phase of our deep dive.
Okay.
We're going beyond the basics
Uh-huh.
and venturing into territory that might feel a bit more complex.
Okay.
But trust me,
Yeah.
it's worth exploring.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's on the agenda for this advanced level of financial literacy?
Well, first up, we're tackling the dreaded T word,
Oh,
taxes.
taxes.
It's not the most exciting topic,
No,
but it's undeniably important.
I guess so.
Our source material highlights the importance of understanding the tax implications of your financial decisions.
They always seem so complicated.
They can be,
Yeah.
but remember, knowledge is power.
Okay.
Understanding basic tax principles can help you minimize your tax liability
Okay.
and potentially even increase your returns.
Oh, wow.
It's about being smart, not sneaky.
Okay, so no offshore accounts or hiding money in mattresses.
Not exactly.
Okay, good.
Instead, think about strategies like maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged retirement accounts.
Hello.
Remember those 401ks and IRAs we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Or explore deductions and credits you might be eligible for,
Oh.
like those for student loan interest or childcare expenses.
So it's like a puzzle, figuring out how to optimize your tax
You
situation.
got it.
I like puzzles.
And it's a puzzle worth solving because those tax savings can really add up over time,
That's true.
leaving you with more money to invest, save, or spend on the things you love.
All right, tax optimization, check. What else is on our advanced financial literacy syllabus?
Next up, we're delving into the world of real estate investing.
Ooh, real estate.
It's a popular avenue for building wealth,
Yeah.
but it also comes with its own set of complexities.
I've always been curious about real estate, but it seems so daunting.
Yeah.
Where do you even begin?
Our source material emphasizes the importance of thorough research and due diligence,
Oh.
understanding market trends, property valuations, financing options, and even the legal aspects of real estate transactions is crucial.
So much to think about.
It's not just about picking a pretty house.
Right.
It's about making informed decisions
Okay.
based on solid data and analysis.
So it's not as simple as watching a few HGTV shows and flipping houses for a quick profit.
Those shows can be entertaining,
Yeah, they are.
but they often paint a misleading picture.
Oh.
Real estate investing requires careful planning,
Hmm.
patience, and a willingness to navigate challenges.
Right.
You need to be prepared for unexpected repairs,
Yeah?
market fluctuations,
Of course.
and even difficult tenants.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Okay. Real talk on real estate. Got it.
Yeah.
Anything else on our advanced financial literacy adventure?
Last, but certainly not least,
Yeah.
we're touching on the concept of financial independence.
Okay.
It's a buzzword you've probably heard.
Oh, yeah.
But what does it actually mean?
Yeah. Financial independence sounds amazing, but it also feels kind of elusive.
I understand.
Like, is it even achievable for regular people?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Our source material defines financial independence as having enough income or assets to cover your living expenses
Okay.
without relying on traditional employment.
Wow.
It's about creating choices and freedom in your life.
Wow, that's powerful. So it's not necessarily about being a millionaire, but about having the financial means to live life on your own terms.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about aligning your finances with your values.
Right.
Remember that theme from earlier?
Yeah.
And creating a life that feels truly fulfilling.
Yeah.
It might involve early retirement,
Oh, yeah.
pursuing passion projects,
That's the trick.
or simply having the flexibility to spend more time with loved ones
Right.
without constantly worrying about money.
Okay. I'm officially inspired.
Yeah.
Financial independence is definitely going on my vision board.
I like it.
But after covering all this ground, my brain is feeling a little full. Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But remember, the beauty of financial literacy
Yeah.
is that it's a lifelong journey.
That's true.
You don't have to master everything overnight.
Okay, good.
Just keep learning,
Right.
keep exploring, and keep taking steps towards a more secure and fulfilling financial future.
I like it.
And that actually brings us back to something we touched on earlier,
Okay.
estate planning.
Okay, yeah.
Talked about wills and stuff.
All right.
But you also mentioned digital assets.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that means. It's a relatively new
Okay.
but increasingly important aspect of estate planning.
Okay.
Think about all the online accounts you have.
Okay.
Email, social media, banking,
Uh-huh.
shopping, even those subscription boxes you signed up for.
Right.
Then there's your digital photos, videos, music libraries,
Oh.
and even things like cryptocurrency holdings or online gaming accounts.
Wow, I never realized how much stuff I have online. So what happens to all of that if something happens to me?
That's where digital estate planning comes in.
Okay.
It's about making sure your digital assets are managed according to your wishes.
Okay.
You can specify how you want these accounts accessed,
Right.
managed, or even closed after you're gone.
Oh, okay.
It's about maintaining control over your digital legacy.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do I actually do that? Do I need to write a separate will for my digital stuff?
You don't necessarily need a separate will,
Okay.
but you do need to include specific instructions in your estate plan.
Right.
Some online platforms now offer built-in legacy contact features,
Oh, wow.
allowing you to designate someone to manage your account after you're gone.
So like choosing a digital executor.
Exactly.
Wow. I like that.
You can also create a separate document outlining your digital asset inventory
Okay.
and instructions for managing those accounts.
Right.
It's about taking proactive steps to ensure your digital legacy is handled responsibly.
Okay. Digital estate planning. Noted.
Yeah.
But going back to this idea of financial independence, it still feels a bit abstract.
I understand.
Are there specific steps I can take to work towards that
Yeah,
goal?
absolutely.
Okay.
What are they?
The source highlights a few key principles for achieving financial independence.
Right.
One is minimizing expenses
Okay.
and living below your means.
So cutting back on those daily lattes and avocado toasts.
It's not necessarily about deprivation,
Okay.
but about being mindful of your spending habits
Right.
and making conscious choices.
Okay.
Maybe you brew your own coffee a few times a week, or find ways to enjoy your favorite foods at home more often.
Yeah.
Small changes can add up over time.
Makes sense. What else can I do?
Another important principle is diversifying your income streams.
Oh, okay.
Instead of relying solely on one job,
Right.
explore ways to generate additional income.
Okay.
This could involve starting a side hustle,
Yeah.
freelancing, investing in rental properties,
Right.
or even creating passive income streams through things like online courses or ebooks. So it's about having multiple streams of income flowing into my financial river.
Exactly.
All right.
Diversifying your income not only boosts your earning potential,
Yeah.
but also reduces your financial risk.
Okay.
If one income stream dries up,
Yeah.
you have others to fall back on.
Okay. Minimizing expenses, diversifying income. Got it. Any other financial independence secrets you can share?
One more that's absolutely crucial.
Okay.
Investing wisely.
Okay.
Remember all those investment principles we discussed earlier?
Oh, right.
Those apply here, too.
Okay.
It's about choosing investments that align with your risk tolerance,
Mm-hmm.
investing consistently,
Okay.
and taking advantage of compound growth to build long-term wealth.
So it's not just about saving money. It's about making that money work for me through smart investments.
You nailed it.
I like that.
Financial independence is all about creating a financial ecosystem
All right.
where your money is working hard for you,
Yeah.
generating income and growth, even while you sleep.
That sounds like the dream. But let's be real.
Yeah.
Achieving financial independence probably takes years,
Right.
if not decades.
Right. It's definitely a long-term game,
Okay.
but the key is to start now.
All right.
Even small steps taken today can make a significant difference down the road.
Yeah.
Remember that snowball effect of compound interest?
Oh, yeah.
The earlier you start,
Uh-huh.
the more powerful that effect becomes.
Okay. I'm feeling motivated.
Good.
But all this talk about taxes, real estate, and financial independence has my head spinning a bit.
Yeah, I bet it's a lot.
Can we take a step back and recap some key takeaways for our listeners?
Absolutely.
All right.
First, remember that financial success is a personal concept.
Okay.
It's about aligning your finances with your values
Right.
and creating a life that feels fulfilling for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Second,
Yes.
understanding basic tax principles can help you minimize your tax liability
Uh-huh.
and keep more money in your pocket.
Right.
It's about being smart and strategic with your finances.
Exactly.
Third,
Real estate investing can be a powerful wealth-building tool,
yeah,
but it requires thorough research,
right,
due diligence,
uh-huh,
and a willingness to navigate challenges.
yeah,
Don't let those HGTV shows fool you.
nah,
It's not always as glamorous as it seems.
no, it's not.
And finally, financial independence is achievable,
Yes,
but it requires a long-term mindset,
uh-huh,
a willingness to make changes,
right,
and a commitment to investing wisely.
exactly.
Oh,
Excellent
I
recap.
did good.
And remember,
Yeah.
financial literacy is a journey, not a destination.
That's true.
It's about continuously learning,
Right.
growing,
Right.
and making informed decisions that empower you to create the life you want.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive, everything from budgeting basics to the nuances of real estate investing.
Right.
It's amazing how much there is to learn about personal finance, right? But I think one of the most important takeaways
Yeah.
is that financial literacy is a journey, not a destination.
Absolutely. There's always something new to learn, new strategies to explore,
Right.
and new ways to optimize your financial well-being.
For sure.
And that brings us to a crucial point that our source emphasizes,
Okay.
the importance of staying informed and adaptable.
Adaptable. What do you mean by that?
Think about it.
Okay.
The financial world is constantly changing.
Oh, yeah.
Interest rates fluctuate,
Yeah.
markets ebb and flow,
Right.
new investment opportunities emerge,
Yeah.
and tax laws get updated.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
To truly thrive financially, you need to be able to adjust your strategies
Okay.
and make informed decisions based on the current landscape.
So it's not enough to just learn the basics, we need to stay on top of things and be willing to pivot when necessary.
Exactly.
Up
It's
and
like
right.
navigating a ship through changing waters.
Okay.
You need to be aware of the currents, the winds, and potential obstacles to chart the best course.
That's a great analogy, but how do we actually stay informed?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much information out there, it can be overwhelming.
You're right, it can be a lot to sift through.
It is.
But here are a few tips from the source.
All right, I'm listening.
First,
Okay.
identify reputable sources of financial information.
Okay, so like, where should we go?
This could include trusted financial websites, blogs, podcasts like this one, books,
Oh, of course.
and even financial advisors.
Okay, so it's about finding sources that are credible and unbiased.
Exactly.
Got it.
Second, make it a habit to stay updated on financial news and trends.
Okay, but like, how often are we talking?
This doesn't mean you need to become a financial expert overnight,
Okay, good.
but even skimming headlines or listening to a short financial podcast can help you stay in the loop.
So it's like taking a few minutes each day to check the financial forecast, just like we check the weather.
Exactly.
Okay, I could do that.
And third, don't be afraid to seek professional guidance when needed.
Oh, right.
A financial advisor can provide personalized advice,
Okay.
help you create a tailored financial plan.
Yeah. And guide you through complex decisions like investing or retirement planning.
It's like having a financial co-pilot to navigate those tricky financial situations.
Perfect analogy. Remember, financial literacy is not a solo mission.
Right.
It's okay to ask for help
Yeah.
and leverage the expertise of others.
Okay, that's really reassuring.
Good.
So staying informed, adaptable, and seeking guidance when needed. Those are key principles for navigating the ever-changing financial world.
Yes.
But as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to bring it back to something we discussed earlier,
Okay.
financial success.
Right.
We talked about aligning finances with values and creating a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put that into practice?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
And it's a very personal journey.
it is.
But one way to start is to create a financial vision board.
Woo! I love vision boards. But how does that tie into financial success?
It's about taking your financial goals from abstract concepts to tangible images and affirmations.
Okay, think about what truly matters to you.
Right.
Maybe it's traveling the world, owning a home, starting a business,
Oh, yeah.
or simply having the financial freedom to pursue your passions without limitations.
That's the dream.
Find images and quotes that represent those aspirations
Okay.
and create a collage that inspires and motivates you.
So it's like a visual reminder of my why, the driving force behind my financial decisions.
Exactly. It helps you stay focused on the bigger picture
Yeah,
and make choices that align with your values.
I like that.
And here's another tip.
Okay.
Track your progress and celebrate milestones along the way.
Oh, that's fun.
It's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day grind of managing finances,
Oh, it is.
but taking the time to acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, can boost your motivation and keep you on track.
It's like giving yourself a financial high five for making smart choices and moving closer to your goals.
Exactly. Celebrating milestones helps you stay engaged in the process
Yeah.
and reminds you that you're making progress, even if it feels slow at times.
I love that. So as we conclude this incredible three-part exploration of financial literacy, what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Remember that financial literacy is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
Right.
Embrace the process of learning, growing, and evolving your financial knowledge and strategies.
Okay.
Be adaptable, stay informed,
Yeah.
seek guidance when needed,
Yeah.
and most importantly, align your finances with your values to create a life that feels truly rich and fulfilling.
That's such a powerful message. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. I know I've learned so much from this deep dive, and I hope our listeners have too.
It's been a pleasure, and remember, we're all on this journey together.
Yeah.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving to create a financial future that aligns with your dreams and aspirations.
And on that note, we'll sign off for today.
There, that sounds good.
Thanks for joining us on this financial literacy adventure. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic that matters to you. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for financial well-being.
All right, so welcome to the deep dive. We're going to be jumping into some pretty advanced financial strategies today. You guys have told us that you've mastered the basics.
Yeah, things like budgeting, debt, maybe even dipping your toes into investing.
Right. All that good stuff. So now you're ready to kind of unlock the next level.
Exactly. And based on what you share, we're going to be diving into some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. So instead of just managing your money, we're going to be making it work harder for us.
That's the goal. mastering taxes, exploring the world of real estate,
Ooh,
starting a
Rebus.
course maybe toward financial independence and building a legacy.
Ooh, leaving a legacy. I like that. Okay, so let's start, I guess with the least sexy topic, taxes.
Yeah.
I know, but from what you've shared, I think we've got some source material here that really kind of reframes it. It's
Yeah.
not just about like minimizing what you owe. It's almost like a strategic game.
Right. A lot of people just try to get their taxes done, as quickly as possible.
Right.
But, I saw one of your sources actually pointed out that almost 40% of taxpayers overpay.
40%.
Yeah, because they don't fully understand deductions and credits. So it really is like a game. There are strategies involved.
It's like leaving money on the table.
Exactly.
40%, that's a lot of money on the table.
Right.
So it sounds like it's not just about minimizing what you owe, but maximizing what you keep.
Absolutely. And speaking of maximizing, you've also got some information here on tax-advantaged accounts. We've got, the 401k, IRAs, but you've also got some stuff on HSAs, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, HSAs. I usually think of those being for health expenses.
Right.
But one article you shared mentioned that they can actually be really powerful for long-term investments.
They can,
Yeah.
especially if you have a high-deductible health plan and you don't need to tap into it right away.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a secret weapon then.
It is for tax-free growth.
Oh, tax-free growth. Even better.
Now, one thing that I think gets overlooked a lot when it comes to tax planning is record keeping.
Record keeping. Yeah.
It's absolutely essential. You wouldn't believe how many people just kind of scramble during tax season.
Oh, I bet.
And one source I saw even likened it to like trying to build a house without blueprints.
Oh, yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. So you got to have you got to have your records in order.
It's like having your financial armor ready. Okay, let's switch gears to something a little bit more tangible, real estate.
Okay. Yeah.
I know a lot of people, they think it's only for the wealthy,
Right.
but you've got some sources here that I think challenge that assumption.
Definitely. Real estate can be a great tool for building wealth, even if you're not starting with a ton of capital. And I see here you've got some information about the power of just owning your first home. And it's not even just about, the money.
Right, this source talked about like emotional and social benefits too. It's like building a foundation,
It is.
literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't stop there. You've also got information here about using rental properties to generate passive income.
Yeah.
It's like becoming your own little, CEO of your real estate empire.
Ooh, I like that analogy. But I'm guessing it's not all smooth sailing, right? Being a landlord, I mean.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
One article really stressed the importance of doing your research, planning carefully. You need to understand your local market. You got to be really careful about screening tenants and budgeting for unexpected repairs. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No, definitely not. So it sounds like it's more of a long-term strategy.
It is?
For those who maybe don't want to be landlords, I'm also seeing some information here on REITs,
Yeah, REITs.
real estate investment trusts.
Right.
And one source actually described it as owning like a tiny piece of a diverse portfolio of properties without all the headaches of actually having to manage them directly.
Yeah, it's a great way to get into real estate if you don't want to be hands-on. It's like owning a tiny little slice of a skyscraper in New York, a shopping mall in California.
A little bit of everything.
Exactly. That's diversification.
Yeah.
And they often provide dividends, too, so that can be a nice little stream of income.
So it's all about finding the right fit, I guess, for your individual goals and how much risk you're willing to take on. But whether you're buying your first home, getting into rental properties, or even exploring REITs, I think one thing's for sure: location, location, location.
Absolutely. You've got a source here that actually mentioned a study that found that properties in neighborhoods that are really walkable and have a lot of amenities, they actually appreciate faster than those in, like, less desirable areas.
What about finding those hidden gems,
Exactly.
the up-and-coming areas? Okay, let's shift gears to something, a concept that I think a lot of people strive for: financial independence.
Yeah.
You've got some sources here about the FIRE movement, which I found fascinating.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
It's all about reaching financial security early on, so you can, maybe retire early or just live life on your own terms.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Not being tied to, 9 to 5 job.
Right, exactly. So it's almost like a rebellion against the traditional work culture.
In a way, it is. But it's not just about, like, dropping out of the rat race completely. It's more about having the freedom to choose what you do with your time.
Right, making choices based on your passions, not just like financial constraints.
Exactly.
Mm.
And one of the sources you've got here is actually a book written by somebody who's done it. They really stress the importance of a few things, like saving aggressively,
Okay.
investing wisely, and then resisting that temptation to just keep, upgrading your lifestyle as you earn more.
Oh, lifestyle inflation. So
Exactly.
just because you got a raise doesn't mean you need a new car or,
Yeah.
or a bigger house.
You don't. It's about really aligning your spending with what you truly value
Yeah.
and what your long-term goals are.
And that can be tough. That can be tough.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about creating a lasting impact, something we kind of touched on before, building generational wealth. Thinking beyond just our own needs,
Yeah.
right? And leaving a legacy behind.
Leaving a legacy. Exactly. It's about setting future generations up for success. Not just our kids, but their kids too. Breaking that cycle of financial struggle.
Oh, that's powerful.
It is. And one of the sources that I saw, it was a study, it found that children from families who have a really solid foundation of financial literacy, they're actually much more likely to be successful with money as adults.
It's almost like you're giving them a superpower.
You are
Yeah.
equipping them with the knowledge to
Mhm.
make those smart decisions,
Yeah.
to build their own wealth and to create a brighter future.
And along with financial literacy, we've also got some info here on estate planning,
Okay, yes.
which I think is a crucial part of building generational wealth.
It is.
And it's not just for the wealthy either. One source described it as a way to protect your assets and make sure that they're distributed according to your wishes,
It's about having a plan in place.
even after you're gone.
Exactly.
So in this first part of our deep dive, we've covered a lot. We talked about taxes.
Taxes.
And we've kind of ventured into this exciting world of real estate.
Real estate.
And we've even touched on these really empowering concepts of financial independence and building generational wealth.
But we're just getting started.
I know, right? There's so much more to uncover.
Absolutely. So in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to take all these big ideas and we're going to break them down into some strategies that you can actually use. Actionable steps.
Awesome. Turning knowledge into action. I like that.
Exactly.
So stick around because we're going to be right back after a short break.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've got all these big picture financial concepts, right? And now we're going to try to break them down.
Yeah, make them actionable. I love that. Turning knowledge into action. So earlier we touched on like tax advantaged accounts being almost like free money, right? But one of your sources had a really interesting point about the, what was it called? Time value of money.
Oh, the time value of money. Yeah, that's a key concept. It's something a lot of people don't really think about. It's not just about how much you invest.
Okay.
It's when you start. The earlier you start, the more time it has to grow, even if it's small amounts.
Oh, because of compounding.
Yes, exactly, because of compounding.
Yeah.
So it's like, you imagine a snowball rolling downhill. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm starting to see like why this is considered advanced financial literacy. It's
Right.
like a whole other level of strategy involved.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And when it comes to those tax-advantaged accounts, there were some really specific strategies highlighted. For example, one article talked about the backdoor Roth IRA strategy.
The backdoor Roth, what is that?
Yeah, it can be a really good option for high-income earners.
Yeah.
People who aren't eligible for, traditional Roth contributions.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to real estate for a sec.
Okay.
We talked about how owning your first home is a great foundation, right?
Yeah.
But one of the sources also brought up a really good point about the hidden costs of home ownership.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. It's not just, mortgage payments,
Right.
property taxes. It's the stuff you don't always think about.
Right, exactly. Like unexpected repairs, HOA fees, if you're in,
Landscaping.
landscaping, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook all of that when you're caught up in the excitement of buying a place.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay. And speaking of excitement, I see you've got some pretty in-depth research here on rental properties, too.
Yeah, rental properties, definitely. One source I saw, they actually gave this checklist
Yeah.
of 10 essential questions to ask yourself before becoming a landlord.
Ooh, I like a checklist. Practical. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's like, can I handle, leaky faucet at 2 a.m. kind of questions?
Exactly. Am I prepared to deal with difficult tenants?
All the joys of being a landlord.
Right. It's not just about collecting rent checks every month. It's a business. It takes planning. It takes a certain level of risk tolerance. So yeah, definitely ask yourself those questions.
Definitely. And if that landlord life just doesn't sound appealing, you've also got some good info here on REITs.
Yeah.
We talked about diversification before, but one of your sources actually got into like the specifics of different types of REITs, which I found that really helpful.
Yeah. Not all REITs are the same. You've got your equity REITs, your mortgage REITs, and then
The hybrids.
the hybrids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, equity REITs, those invest directly in the properties.
Yep.
And then you've got your mortgage REITs, those focus on, the financing side. And then the hybrid REITs, those kind of combine both approaches. So it's important to understand, what the differences are.
So it's like choosing, the right tool for the job.
Exactly. All right. I'm really excited to dig into this whole financial independence idea a little bit more and building generational wealth. I mean, those just seem like the ultimate goals,
Yeah.
The pinnacles of financial success.
Yeah.
But one of your sources mentioned something really interesting. It said that achieving financial independence isn't just about like hitting a certain net worth.
Okay.
It's about your mindset.
Oh, okay. So it's like an internal thing too. It's not just the number.
Exactly. One source actually called it like wealth consciousness.
Wealth consciousness. Okay.
It's about developing like a healthy relationship with money,
Yeah.
really aligning your actions with your long-term goals.
So shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to achieve financial independence if you're like, constantly worried about money.
Yeah.
Or feeling like you're never going to have enough.
Right. It's about like believing in your ability to create wealth and manage it well.
Exactly. And speaking of managing wealth well, let's go back to generational wealth for a minute.
Okay.
We talked about how important it is to, teach kids about money, right? Give them that financial literacy foundation. But one of the sources had some really practical tips for how to actually do that.
Ooh, I like practical tips. What did they say?
Well, one thing they suggested was to start early,
Okay.
even with like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just introduce basic concepts like saving and spending.
Oh, through like, age-appropriate activities.
Exactly. Like setting up a lemonade stand.
Yeah.
Or even just helping out with the grocery shopping,
Oh, I love that. That's great.
It's about making it fun,
Yeah.
not just like a boring lecture.
Right.
And then as they get older, you can start to introduce some of the more complex topics like investing, credit, debt management. The key is to make it relevant to their lives, what they're interested in.
So it's about like passing down knowledge, not just money.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about empowering them to make their own smart decisions.
I love that. All right. And along with the financial education piece, there's also the estate planning,
Right. Estate planning.
which we touched on before. And you've got some sources here that really kind of break down those different tools like wills, trusts, all that stuff.
Yeah. It can seem a little overwhelming to some people,
Yeah, for sure.
but one of the articles made a really good point. It said that estate planning isn't just about like protecting your assets. It's about making sure your wishes are carried out and that, your loved ones are taken care of.
Oh, yeah. So it's about having that plan in place. So your legacy really does reflect your values and what you wanted.
Exactly.
It sounds like we've covered a ton of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've gone, way beyond the basics.
Yeah, we've dug deep into those specific strategies for tax planning,
Real estate,
financial independence, generational wealth.
a lot to think about.
Definitely.
Mm.
But there's still more.
I know there always is.
Always is, right? So in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to wrap things up, talk about some key takeaways,
Ooh, love the takeaways.
give you some actionable insights,
Yeah.
some things that you can really take and use to take your financial journey to that next level.
All right, so stick around for the grand finale. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been on quite a journey, haven't we?
We have exploring all these financial strategies. It's been great.
It has. And now it's time to kind of bring it all together. I think one of the most important takeaways, and I notice this in a lot of your sources, is that financial success isn't just about, following a set of rules or formulas.
No, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
No, it's about developing like a mindset.
A way of thinking
Yeah, a way of thinking about money.
that empowers you to make those good choices.
Yeah.
One of the articles actually talked about the difference between like managing money and mastering money.
Ooh, managing versus mastering. I like that.
Yeah, managing is about, paying your bills,
Mhm.
staying afloat.
Okay.
But mastering is different. It's about really making your money work for you,
I see.
aligning it with your values and your goals.
So it's like it's a higher level.
It is. It's a higher level, and that actually ties back to that whole wealth consciousness idea we were talking about before.
Right.
It's not just about, how much money you have. It's really about how you think about it, what you do with it.
And that brings us to, I think, another key takeaway. And that's the power of small, consistent actions.
Yes.
It's so easy to get caught up in thinking we need to make these huge, drastic changes,
Right, right.
to see results. But one of the sources, I think it's a book by a personal finance expert, they made the point that even small habits can make a huge difference.
If you do them consistently,
If you do them consistently over time, exactly.
whether that's, saving a few extra dollars each week, automating your investments, even just taking a few minutes each day to really track your spending.
All those little things add up.
They do. They absolutely
Maybe it's like that compound interest principle, but applied to your daily habit.
to your habits, yeah.
I like that. Okay, I want to circle back to the whole concept of generational wealth for a second, because we talked about how important it is to, teach those financial literacy skills to future generations.
Yeah.
But one of your sources, it had a really interesting angle on it. They were talking about the importance of like values and ethics.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they were saying it's not just about teaching kids how to make money.
Right.
It's about, how to use it responsibly, ethically, in a way that benefits not just themselves, but their community, the world around them.
It's like instilling that sense of purpose, stewardship.
Exactly. Understanding that, wealth it's a tool that can be used to create positive change.
And it's not just about the financial resources you pass down.
Yeah.
It's about the values that guide those decisions, those money decisions.
It is. It's about leaving a legacy that goes beyond just, financial security,
It's about generosity.
social responsibility,
Yeah.
making a difference.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway is that financial mastery, it's not a destination.
No, it's not a finish line you cross.
Right. It's a journey. It's about constantly growing and learning and refining your approach.
And the world of finance, it's always changing, right?
Always. New strategies pop up, markets go up and down.
So you have to be willing to adapt.
Yeah.
Stay curious. Keep learning.
One of your sources, they actually recommended setting aside time each month specifically for financial education.
Yeah, whether that's, reading books, listening to podcasts.
Taking a class, attending a seminar.
It's about investing in your knowledge.
Just like you invest in your portfolio.
Exactly.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive, and I hope you all feel empowered to take what you've learned, apply it to your own lives, and start building that financial future that you deserve.
You have the power to shape your own destiny,
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, seek guidance if you need to, and never, ever stop learning.
Such great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep reaching for those goals.
All right, let's dive in. This deep dive is all about taking your financial smarts to the next level. We're talking long-term financial health and building wealth using those awesome sources you gave us.
Sounds good to me.
Are you ready for some seriously smart strategies for making your money work for you, not just, cover the bills?
Absolutely. It's not just about getting by. It's about shaping your financial future. I like where you're going with this.
I'm with you. I've been looking through all the sources, and one thing that really stood out was this whole idea of, regularly reviewing and adapting your financial plan. And not just like a quick glance, but really digging deep, even beyond your everyday budget.
Yeah, it's like having a roadmap, right? But the thing is, with the roadmap, the roads don't really change all that much, but life changes constantly.
So true.
So you got to adjust your financial plan to match. Incomes go up, sometimes they go down. You have those surprise expenses popping up. And let's be real, our goals change as we grow. Your plan needs that same flexibility to stay relevant.
So basically, setting a budget once and forgetting about it is a big no-no.
Pretty much. Make your budget a living, breathing document that you check in with every few months. Be proactive, not just reacting when something goes wrong. Imagine you get a promotion, awesome, right?
Definitely.
But maybe now your tax bracket changes. Or maybe you have a sudden home repair that throws everything off.
Oh, tell me about it. My water heater decided to call it quits last year. Talk about a budget buster.
Exactly. When you review your budget regularly, it helps you handle those curveballs and keeps you on track for your bigger goals.
It's almost like, I don't know, adjusting the sails on a ship to deal with changing winds, right?
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something else your source mentions, tracking your net worth annually. What are your thoughts on that?
If I'm being totally honest, net worth has always sounded kind of intimidating to me. Like it's something only really rich people worry about.
You're not alone. A lot of people think that. But really, net worth is like a snapshot of your financial health. It doesn't matter how much you have, it's about understanding where you stand financially.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But is it really necessary to calculate my net worth every year? As long as I'm sticking to my budget and things seem okay, why bother?
Think of it like a progress check, a financial checkup. By tracking it each year, you can see how your decisions are affecting your overall financial health, saving, investing, managing debt. It can even help you spot areas where you could improve. Maybe you're amazing at saving, but need to focus more on paying off high interest debt.
So it's all about getting the big picture and seeing how all the parts of my financial life connect.
Absolutely. And let's be real, seeing that net worth number grow year after year can be incredibly motivating.
It's like, I don't know, leveling up in a financial video game.
Yeah.
You see your progress, feel that sense of accomplishment, and that keeps you going.
You got it. And speaking of motivation, one thing that really stood out in your sources was this emphasis on setting milestones and celebrating those small wins along the way. Because let's face it, sometimes those big financial goals can feel overwhelming.
Oh, for sure. I think about buying a house someday, and it just feels like this massive mountain to climb.
I hear you. That's where breaking down those huge goals into smaller, bite-sized milestones comes in. Every time you hit a milestone, it reinforces those good feelings and keeps you motivated. It's the psychology of winning, even if it's a small win.
It's kind of like training for a marathon, right? You focus on those individual runs, celebrate each one, and that helps you keep going toward that big finish line.
Spot on. And celebrating doesn't have to mean breaking the bank. It can be something simple like, oh, I don't know, treating yourself to a nice dinner or a new book or a little weekend trip. It's about recognizing your progress.
That reminds me of when I finally paid off my student loans. I splurged on a trip to a national park I'd always wanted to visit. It wasn't just about the trip. It was about celebrating that feeling of freedom.
Exactly. It's shifting your mindset from feeling deprived to actually enjoying the process.
Okay, so we've got our budget checkups, net worth tracking, and celebrating milestones, all awesome strategies for staying on course. But let's be real, life doesn't always go according to plan, right?
Truth. You never know what curveballs life will throw.
So let's say, hypothetically speaking, the unexpected happens. Maybe you suddenly lose your job or you have a huge medical bill. What can you do to soften the blow financially?
Great question. Your sources get into some specifics here, which I appreciate. The first one, and this is a biggie, is having a solid emergency fund. And I'm not talking about just a couple $100 stashed away.
I'll admit, building a real emergency fund has been a struggle for me.
The goal is to have 6 to 12 months of living expenses tucked away in that emergency fund. That might sound like a lot, but think of it as your financial safety net. If you lose your job, have a medical crisis, or something else unexpected happens.
You're covered.
Exactly. You'll have options and peace of mind.
It's like building a financial fortress.
Right.
The bigger the emergency fund, the stronger those walls.
You got it. And remember, you don't have to build it all at once.
But-
Even small contributions, consistently over time, will add up.
Speaking of building that fortress, your source also talked about diversifying your income, having multiple streams of income to make your finances even more resilient. What are some of your favorite ways to do that?
Diversifying is all about reducing your reliance on a single source of income. Instead of having all your eggs in one basket, say your 9-to-5 job, having multiple streams of income creates a safety net.
Makes perfect sense. But it can feel overwhelming. With all the side hustles, passive income, investing, where do you even begin?
Don't get overwhelmed. Start by thinking about your skills and interests. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? Maybe you have a knack for graphic design and could do some freelancing. Or maybe you love baking and could sell your treats at a local market.
I've heard of people turning their hobbies into businesses, like photography or making crafts.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless. Just find something you're passionate about and can fit into your life. You could also explore passive income options, things like renting out a spare room or creating online courses.
That's awesome, like creating mini businesses that make money even while you sleep.
You got it. And then, of course, there's investing, which is an amazing way to build wealth over the long term, but that's a deep dive for another time.
Okay, so we've got our emergency fund growing. We're looking at ways to bring in extra cash. What else can we do to be prepared for those inevitable life curveballs?
Another big one is having the right insurance coverage. So many people overlook it until they need it, and then it's too late.
It's like remembering you need an umbrella only after you're already soaked.
Exactly.
Right.
Reviewing your insurance policies, health, life, property, disability regularly is a must. Make sure you're covered for your current situation.
What about life insurance? I'm single and don't have kids, so I figured that's something I can worry about later.
It's definitely associated with protecting families, but life insurance can be valuable even if you're single. It can cover things like outstanding debts or funeral expenses. Think of it as making sure your financial affairs are in order no matter what happens.
It's about being proactive, having a plan in place. And that brings us to something in the sources I found really fascinating, the what if game.
I like this one. It's all about switching from reacting to problems to anticipating them and being prepared.
Okay, I'm all ears.
It's actually pretty simple. Think about some possible scenarios. What if you lose your job? What if you have a major medical expense? What if you need to take care of an aging parent?
Those what ifs are definitely making me think.
The goal isn't to dwell on the negative, but to be ready. For each scenario, think about specific steps you could take to minimize the financial impact.
Like, if job loss is the what if, I could update my resume, network, look into freelancing, and maybe tap into that emergency fund we talked about.
Exactly. You're creating a game plan for handling tough situations. It helps you respond with confidence, not panic, if something unexpected happens.
I love that. It's about shifting from, oh no, what if this happens, to, I've got this no matter what.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your financial destiny. And while we're on the topic of control, there's one more thing we should talk about before we move on.
And what's that?
Continuous learning. The world of money is always changing, right? New technologies, investment strategies, rules and regulations. It can be tough to keep up.
No kidding. It feels like I'm constantly bombarded with financial information from all sides. Social media, news articles, podcasts. It's overwhelming.
It definitely can be. And that's why it's crucial to be picky about where you get your information.
Any tips on how to sort through all the noise and find reliable sources?
Stick to reputable financial news sources, podcasts hosted by experts, and blogs that have a track record of accuracy. Look for sources that are objective, based on facts and data, and avoid anything that sounds too good to be true.
So basically, do my research and don't just believe everything I read online.
Exactly. You want sources that are focused on educating and empowering you, not trying to sell you something.
Makes sense. So I should steer clear of those get-rich-quick schemes and focus on building a solid understanding of finances. What else can we do to stay ahead of the game in this ever-changing world?
One thing your sources highlight is the importance of being proactive about learning. It's not enough to just passively absorb information. Actively seek out opportunities to deepen your understanding.
Be a lifelong learner, you mean?
Exactly. And there are so many great ways to do that these days. You could take online courses, go to workshops, or even take classes at a local community college.
It's like having a whole menu of financial education to choose from. How do we even know where to start? What should we prioritize?
Think about what aligns with your current goals and interests. Do you want to understand investing better? Learn more about real estate. Explore retirement planning. There's a course out there for pretty much every financial topic.
So many options.
And it's not just about formal learning, right? There's also a lot of value in joining a community.
Like having a financial support group. Sharing experiences, brainstorming, celebrating wins together.
You got it. Finding financial literacy groups, either online or in person, can be a great way to learn from others, share resources, and stay motivated.
Oh, and let's not forget about books. I love reading, and I'm always looking for good books on personal finance.
Reading is a fantastic way to deepen your knowledge and gain different perspectives.
Any recommendations off the top of your head?
We'll put together a list of some must-reads for you. Look for books on personal finance, investing, wealth management, even behavioral economics. They can be really insightful.
Okay, adding those to my list. So be proactive, find learning opportunities that speak to you, and connect with like-minded people.
I love it. And I feel like there's even more to this whole lifelong learning idea. Something about giving back and using financial success to make a difference. I was just thinking the same thing. Your sources really emphasize aligning your financial goals with your values. It's not just about personal gain, it's about using your success to make a positive impact.
I love that perspective. Financial success isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's about using it responsibly and ethically to create a better world.
Couldn't agree more. It's about taking everything we've been discussing and using it for something bigger than ourselves.
So how do we actually do that? What are some concrete ways to give back and make a difference?
One powerful way is to share your knowledge and experience.
Yep.
Teach financial literacy to your friends, family, or community. Empower others to take control of their finances.
Pay it forward. Spread the financial wisdom. What else resonated with you?
Charitable giving is another big one. Donating to causes that align with your values, whether it's education, healthcare, the environment, or social justice.
And giving back isn't always about money, right?
Absolutely.
Uh,
You can donate your time, your skills, even your gently used belongings to charitable organizations. Every bit helps.
okay, so we've got teaching others and making charitable contributions. Anything else?
Your source also talks about legacy planning, ensuring your financial legacy benefits future generations.
Legacy planning. That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Think about setting up trusts for your kids or grandkids, funding scholarships, or making a large donation to your alma mater. You create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own lifetime.
I love that imagery, like planting a seed that will grow for generations.
Mhm.
What other strategies for giving back stood out to you?
Well, with more and more people thinking about conscious consumerism, there's a lot of interest in ethical and socially responsible investing.
I've been hearing about that.
It's about supporting companies that prioritize things like sustainability, fair labor practices, and social justice. You can grow your wealth while making a positive impact.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. You're growing your wealth and supporting causes you care about.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. From budget basics to investing to giving back, it's been a whirlwind.
It has been quite a journey.
I feel like I have a whole new level of financial literacy.
It's great to see you taking control of your financial well-being.
And the best part is, I have so many practical tools and strategies to use.
Remember, financial literacy is a journey, not a destination, but you're definitely on the right track. Keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to ask for help along the way.
Thank you for being such an awesome guide on this deep dive. I'm excited to put all of this into practice.
Me too. And remember, the most important thing is to take action.
I'm feeling inspired to finally open that Roth IRA I've been putting off. How about you? Any action steps you're planning to take?
I think I'm going to dust off my estate plan and make sure it's up to date.
That's a great idea.
Welcome back to your deep dive. We covered a lot in part one, and now we're going even deeper. Ready to explore some more tools and techniques to help you hit those financial goals?
Totally. I'm feeling motivated to up my financial game. Part one really got me thinking about, like, the long game and being more intentional with my money.
Yeah, that's the key. Being proactive, building a solid foundation. Speaking of foundations, your source material talks a lot about automation. Have you tried using any automation tools for managing your money?
To be honest, automation sounds amazing, but I haven't really looked into it much. I love simplifying things and saving time, so I'm curious to hear how it could help me manage my money better.
It can be a lifesaver. Think about all the time you spend each month paying bills, moving money between accounts, tracking expenses.
Ugh, way more time than I'd like to admit. It feels like it all piles up and eats into my free time.
Automation takes care of all those repetitive tasks so you can focus on more enjoyable things. You can set up automatic bill payments, recurring transfers to your savings or investments, use budgeting apps that categorize your spending, and basically watch your finances run smoothly in the background.
That's awesome. It's like having a personal financial assistant working 24/7.
Exactly. And you'll be less likely to miss payments or get hit with late fees, which is great for your stress levels and your credit score.
So, less stress and more free time. I'm sold. What else can we automate?
Well, your source also talks about rebalancing your investment portfolio regularly. And guess what? You can automate that too.
Hold on, rebalancing. I've heard the term, but need a reminder of what it actually is.
It's about keeping your investments aligned with your goals and risk tolerance. Remember, we talked about diversification, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right, spreading your investments across different things like stocks, bonds, real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Over time, some investments might do better than others, which can throw off the balance of your portfolio. Rebalancing is just adjusting things periodically to make sure you're still on track.
I see. So rebalancing is like hitting the reset button, making sure my portfolio still matches my original plan.
You got it. It helps you stay on track and manage risk. And the best part, a lot of investment platforms have automated rebalancing tools that do the work for you.
That sounds super convenient. So
Yeah.
I can set my target for each asset class, and the tool will buy or sell investments as needed to stay balanced.
Exactly, like having a robo-advisor working around the clock to keep your investments on point.
Wow, automation is truly a game changer. Okay, what other cool tools or strategies does the source recommend?
Well, there's one technique that might surprise you: financial visualization.
Financial visualization.
Yeah.
That sounds a little out there, like something you'd hear at a self-help retreat. Does it really work?
I know it might sound a bit woo-woo, but it's actually based on psychology and how our brains work. The idea is that if you vividly imagine yourself achieving your financial goals, you create a stronger emotional connection to them, which makes you more motivated to achieve them.
So it's like mental rehearsal for financial success.
You got it. It's all about using the power of your subconscious mind to keep you focused.
Okay, but how do you actually do financial visualization? Do I have to, like, meditate on my bank statements?
Haha. No, it's much simpler than that. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and imagine yourself in the future, having already achieved your goals. Really try to engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste? The more vivid the image, the better.
So if I'm dreaming of early retirement and traveling the world, I might picture myself exploring ancient ruins in Greece, feeling the sun on my skin, hearing the sounds of the city, even tasting some amazing local food.
Exactly. Make it as real as possible. The more you do this, the more you strengthen those neural pathways in your brain that reinforce your commitment to those goals.
I'm definitely going to try this. It's like creating a movie in my mind of my dream financial future. Any other mind-blowing techniques?
Well, building on visualization, the source emphasizes the importance of having a growth mindset when it comes to money.
Growth mindset. I've heard of it, but I'm not sure I understand it in terms of money.
It's about shifting from a belief that your abilities are fixed, like I'm just bad with money, to a belief that you can always learn and grow.
So instead of saying, I'm terrible at saving, I should say, I'm working on improving my saving skills.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of your financial journey and seeing setbacks as opportunities to learn.
It's like turning those financial oops moments into stepping stones.
I like that. And remember, everyone makes mistakes with their money. It's normal. It's how we learn and grow.
So a growth mindset is about embracing the journey, knowing that we can continuously improve and become more financially savvy. What other gems does the source offer?
Well, it recognizes that even with all the tools and resources out there, sometimes we need a little extra help. It emphasizes the value of seeking professional guidance.
You mean like hiring a financial advisor? I always thought that was only for wealthy people.
That's a common myth. Financial advisors can be incredibly helpful for people at all income levels. They can offer personalized advice and help you create a plan that's tailored to your goals and circumstances.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do I know when I need a financial advisor? I'm pretty comfortable handling my day-to-day finances.
It really depends on your needs and comfort level. If you're feeling overwhelmed by financial planning, struggling to reach your goals, or going through a big life change like getting married, having a baby, or inheriting money, an advisor can be a huge help.
So they're like a financial coach in your corner, helping you navigate the tricky stuff.
Exactly. They can help you see the big picture, spot potential problems, and make smart decisions that align with your goals and values.
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
but finding a trustworthy financial advisor seems daunting. Any tips on how to find the right fit?
Definitely start by asking friends, family, or colleagues if they have any recommendations. You can also check out professional organizations like the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors or the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards.
So word-of-mouth referrals and reputable organizations are a good starting point. What else should I be looking for?
It's important to find someone you trust and feel comfortable working with. During that initial meeting, ask about their experience, their specialties, and their investment philosophy.
So it's not just about credentials, it's about finding someone who gets me and my financial goals.
What about fees? How do they typically charge?
Fees can vary. Some advisors charge a flat fee for creating a plan, others charge by the hour, and some charge a percentage of the assets they manage for you.
Okay, so I need to be clear about the fees up front and understand how they get paid before I commit.
Absolutely. Transparency is key.
So professional guidance is another great resource to have in our back pockets. What other important strategies should we be aware of?
Your source highlights two qualities that are essential for building wealth: patience and discipline.
Patience and discipline. Not exactly the easiest things to practice in today's world, instant gratification.
I know, it's tough. But when it comes to building wealth, slow and steady wins the race.
So I shouldn't be looking for those get-rich-quick schemes.
Definitely not. It's all about making smart choices consistently, even when it seems like nothing's happening. Resisting those impulse buys and sticking to your budget even when everyone around you is spending like crazy. So it's more like a marathon than a sprint,
Eh,
right?
exactly. Pace yourself, stay focused, and don't get discouraged by setbacks.
Okay, patience and discipline. Got it. But how do you actually develop those qualities, especially if, like me, you're not exactly known for your patience?
Start by setting realistic goals that you're excited about and that fit with your values and long-term vision. Break those big goals down into smaller steps so you can celebrate those little wins along the way.
So create a roadmap and celebrate the milestones to stay motivated.
Exactly. And remember, building wealth takes time. There will be ups and downs, but if you stay patient, disciplined, and focused on your long-term goals, you'll get there.
That's a great reminder. It's about tuning out the noise and focusing on what really matters.
You got it. And remember, you're not alone in this.
There are so many great resources available to help, like online communities, financial education platforms, and of course, those trusted financial advisors.
That's right. Take advantage of those resources, ask questions, and never stop learning.
Okay, I think we've covered a ton of ground in this second part of our deep dive. Automation, visualization, mindset, professional guidance, patience, discipline. We've explored a lot.
We have.
I'm feeling so empowered and ready to take action.
That's what we like to hear. And believe it or not, we've got even more to discuss in our final segment.
Can't wait. Bring on the grand finale. All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive. Parts 1 and 2 were jam-packed with awesome strategies. I'm feeling super motivated to really take my finances to the next level.
I'm glad to hear it. We've laid a strong foundation, and now we're moving into some more advanced concepts. Your source material dives into the world of investing, which is a really powerful tool for growing your wealth over the long term.
Investing has always seemed a bit mysterious to me, if I'm honest. I know it's important, but I haven't really jumped in yet, mainly because, well, I'm scared of making mistakes.
That's understandable. Your source material really stresses the importance of starting early and focusing on the long game. It's not about getting rich quick, it's about making informed decisions consistently and letting the power of compounding work its magic.
Compounding? That sounds kind of interesting.
It's pretty amazing, actually. Some people even call it the eighth wonder of the world. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. As it rolls, it gathers more snow, it gets bigger and bigger. With compounding, your initial investment is like that snowball, and the interest it earns is like the added snow. Over time, it can grow exponentially.
Okay, I'm starting to see the snowball effect. But what are some specific strategies I can actually use? Investing seems so complicated.
Your sources mention a few popular approaches. One is index funds. Have you heard of those?
Maybe. I know they have something to do with the stock market, but I'm not really sure what they are.
Index funds are like a basket of stocks that tracks a particular market index, like the S&P 500. Instead of trying to pick individual stocks, which can be tricky, an index fund gives you broad exposure to the market.
So I'm basically investing in lots of stocks at once.
Exactly. It's a more hands-off approach, which can be great for beginners. And usually they have lower fees than those funds that are actively managed.
That sounds less scary than trying to pick winning stocks myself. What other options did the source talk about?
Another popular choice is exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. They're kind of like index funds because they track a specific index or sector, but they trade on stock exchanges just like individual stocks.
Oh, so I can buy and sell them throughout the day. That seems more flexible than index funds.
Right, exactly. ETFs offer both diversification and liquidity, making them really versatile. And just like index funds, they usually have lower fees.
Okay, those options definitely make the stock market seem a little less daunting. What about real estate? Was that mentioned in the source?
It was. Real estate can be a fantastic way to build wealth, especially if you consider both the potential rental income and the possibility of it increasing in value over time.
I always thought about owning rental properties, but honestly, it just sounds like so much work.
It can be a bit more hands-on than investing in stocks or bonds, but it also comes with unique advantages. You can use debt to buy properties, which can really increase your returns.
So I could buy a rental property, collect rent from tenants, and potentially sell it down the line for a profit.
That's the idea. And as you pay down your mortgage, you're building equity. Of course, just like any investment, real estate has risks. So it's super important to research, understand the market, and be prepared for the responsibilities of being a landlord.
Real estate is definitely something I'll need to research more. What about other investing strategies? Did the source mention any more?
Yeah, it also talked about tax-advantaged investing, like using retirement savings plans such as 401ks and IRAs.
I know I should be using those, but to be honest, all the rules and regulations are a bit confusing. Can you help me understand them better?
Absolutely. Let's start with 401ks. These are retirement plans often offered through your employer. Usually, your contributions come out of your paycheck before taxes are taken out, and the money grows tax deferred so you don't pay taxes on it until you retire.
So it's like saving for retirement with pre-tax dollars.
Exactly. And sometimes your employer will even match a portion of your contributions. It's like free money to help boost your retirement savings.
Wow, free money. I'm definitely in. Okay, what about IRAs? Are those similar to 401k?
IRAs, or individual retirement accounts, are retirement accounts that you set up on your own, whether or not you have a 401k at work. The main types are traditional and Roth IRAs.
Okay, what's the difference?
With traditional IRAs, your contributions might be tax deductible, but it depends on how much you make and if you have a 401k through your job. You only pay taxes when you take money out in retirement. With a Roth IRA, your contributions aren't tax deductible up front, but the money you take out in retirement is tax free.
So it's about choosing the IRA that fits my situation and goals, right?
That's right. These tax advantaged accounts can be really helpful for growing your money and minimizing your taxes.
This is great information. I'm finally starting to understand these retirement plans. Any other smart financial moves we should be making?
One more thing that your source emphasizes is estate planning.
Estate planning. I always thought that was something you worry about much later in life.
Well, it does become more important as you get older and have more assets, but it's something everyone should think about. It's about making sure your wishes are carried out if something happens to you.
Okay, I get why that's important. But what exactly is estate planning?
The main thing is creating a will, which basically says how you want your assets to be distributed. You can decide who gets your things, your house, car, other belongings, and even name guardians for your children.
So it's about making sure my family is taken care of and that my wishes are respected.
Exactly. It's about protecting your loved ones and ensuring your legacy. And another essential document is a durable power of attorney, which allows someone you trust to make financial and legal decisions for you if you're unable to do so yourself.
So if something happened where I couldn't manage things myself, someone I trust would be able to step in and handle things for me.
Right. And a healthcare proxy, sometimes called a living will, outlines your wishes for medical treatment if you're unable to communicate them.
It's about having control even during tough times.
Exactly. Estate planning can give you a lot of peace of mind.
This entire deep dive has been amazing. We've covered so much. From budgeting and saving to investing and estate planning, I feel like my financial IQ has gone way up.
That's what we like to hear.
I'm excited to put all this knowledge to work.
Remember, financial literacy is an ongoing process, but you're clearly committed to taking control of your financial well-being. Keep learning, keep growing, and never be afraid to ask for help.
Thank you so much for all this great information and for being such a fantastic guide. I feel empowered to really build the financial future I want. And to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to take charge of your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.
Okay, so I know you want to take control of your finances.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're even thinking about that big dream, like a new house or maybe early retirement, something like that.
Yeah?
That's awesome, but, well, let's be honest.
Right.
Personal finance, it can feel pretty overwhelming sometimes,
It
right?
really can.
It's like, where do you even begin with all this stuff?
Yeah.
That's where this deep dive comes in.
Okay.
We're going to use this podcast episode you sent in,
Yeah.
Financial Literacy for Beginners. This one's part 5.
Okay.
And to create like a clear roadmap just for you
I like
to
it.
get you going. So,
Yeah.
and it's the final episode in this series.
Right.
So you've already gotten a good handle on the basics, it seems like.
It seems like it, yeah.
This one's all about building that personalized plan
Right.
and using technology to kind of make everything a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they talk about crafting a financial roadmap in here,
Okay.
which I really like. It's a cool term.
Yeah.
It's not just about crunching numbers, right?
It's about like visualizing where you want to go
Yeah.
and then figuring out how to get there.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
so where do we even start with this roadmap thing?
Well, it's like any journey, right?
Mhm.
It starts with knowing where you want to go.
Yeah.
And the podcast really emphasizes setting these smart goals,
Okay.
but it goes beyond just like defining them. It's
Yeah.
about really breaking those goals down
Okay.
into like manageable steps.
Lots of people talk about SMART goals,
They do.
but what I think this episode really does well is it talks about
Yeah.
how to take those goals
Mm-hmm.
and break them down into steps.
Totally.
It's like you have this like recipe, right?
Right.
And you have your big goal in mind,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole thing,
Right.
you break it down
Right.
into all the different ingredients,
Yeah.
and you can tackle each one a
Absolutely.
little bit at a time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like, sometimes I get stuck in that I want to save money phase,
Yeah.
but I never really figure out like how.
It's a common trap,
Yeah.
and that's where prioritization comes in.
Okay.
You can't do everything at once, right?
Right.
So the podcast really suggests focusing on those high priority goals
Yeah.
first.
Gotcha.
Once you have those steps laid out,
Mhm.
it's like you've got that like turn-by-turn navigation
Yeah.
for your financial journey.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they also mention like checking in on things regularly too, right?
Mhm.
Because, well, life happens.
Life happens, exactly.
Plans need to change.
Yeah, you got to be flexible.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not about being rigid.
Right,
It's about having a roadmap
Yeah.
that can adapt
for sure.
to those unexpected detours.
And they even suggest creating a vision board,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm a little old school.
Right.
I like the idea of a physical board. But they mentioned digital tools too, right?
Yes, they do.
Like Pinterest and stuff?
Absolutely. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
For those who are a little more digitally inclined,
Yeah.
visualizing those
Yeah.
goals,
Mhm.
whether it's through a physical board
Right.
or like a Pinterest board,
Yeah.
it can be so powerful. It
Yeah.
really keeps those goals front and center.
Okay, so we've got our roadmap,
Okay.
maybe even a cool vision board.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we actually like put this plan into action?
Well, that's where technology comes in.
Right.
And it can really be a game changer.
Okay.
This episode dives into all the financial apps out there,
Oh, cool.
and it's pretty exciting.
Okay.
They mention apps for budgeting, investing, credit monitoring.
Wow.
It's like having a personal finance assistant.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
There's an app that can run my finances for me.
Well, not quite run them,
Okay.
but pretty close.
Okay.
They talk about automation, like setting up those automatic transfers for your savings
Right.
and for bill payments.
Okay.
It takes the mental effort out of it.
Yeah.
It just makes it seamless.
I like that. So
Yeah.
you don't even have to think about it.
Exactly.
So they mentioned some specific apps like Mint,
Yeah, Mint's a great one.
Robinhood, Credit Karma,
Mhm.
but are those just like starting points?
I would say so, yes.
Okay.
Do your own research,
Okay. Right.
find what works best for you.
Right.
But there's a really crucial point that they bring up here.
Okay.
Don't just blindly trust any app.
Yeah. That's fair.
Do your research.
Okay.
Look into security.
Mm-hmm.
Look into reputation.
Okay.
Strong encryption. Do they have independent security audits?
Right.
Transparent privacy policies.
Gotcha.
Your financial data is gold.
Okay.
Treat it that way.
That's a good point. I definitely haven't always done that.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
So we've got our goals, we've got our plan, we've got some tech to help us, but sometimes sticking to the plan, that's the hardest part, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's one thing to make the plan,
Yeah.
but it's another to actually like make it work.
It's about action,
Yeah,
putting it into practice.
exactly.
And that's where those long-term habits really come into play.
Okay.
Building those solid habits
Yeah,
to support your plan.
for sure. So what are some of these like secret sauce habits to make this thing really work?
One of the most impactful habits they mention
Yeah.
is this idea of paying yourself first.
Pay yourself first.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Right.
But I mean, how do you actually do that when
Right.
it feels like my paycheck is like already gone?
It's a mindset shift.
Okay.
Instead of saving whatever is left over
Right.
at the end of the month,
Yeah.
you make it a non-negotiable expense.
Okay.
Just like your rent or your utilities.
Gotcha.
So as soon as you get paid,
Mm.
a portion goes straight to savings or investment.
Okay, so before anything else,
You don't any spending happens.
I see. So it's like
Yeah,
you're tricking yourself into saving
Kind
before you even have a chance to spend it.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. What other habits did they mention in here?
Well, they talk about continuous learning,
Okay.
which is just so crucial,
Yeah.
especially with personal finance.
Right, because things are always changing.
Exactly. It's a constantly evolving landscape.
Right.
And they say with all the free resources available today,
Mm-hmm.
there's no excuse
That's true.
to stay stuck.
There are so many resources out there.
There are.
Podcasts and blogs and videos and everything.
You got it all.
It's true, yeah. I've been trying to be more mindful of my spending lately.
Yeah,
It's so easy to just spend money without even thinking about it.
absolutely.
Impulse purchases get me all the time.
Right. And that's where the podcast really encourages
Mm-hmm.
differentiating between those wants and needs.
Wants and needs, yeah.
Like needs are things you have to have
Yeah.
to keep your life running, like food and shelter and healthcare.
Right.
Wants are like the sprinkles on top,
Gotcha.
like that fancy coffee or that new gadget.
So, like, I need my phone to function,
Right.
but I don't need the latest model.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's about finding that balance.
So they also recommend doing a financial checkup
Yes.
once a year.
A financial checkup.
It sounds good in theory,
Yeah.
but I feel like I would just forget to do it.
That's why they recommend scheduling it,
Okay,
like a doctor's appointment.
gotcha.
Put it on your calendar, set a reminder,
Mm-hmm.
treat it as a non-negotiable.
That's a good idea.
It's your time to review your budget, your investments, make sure you're still on track with your goals.
Okay, and I guess, of course, we should celebrate our wins along the way, right?
Absolutely.
Even if they're small.
Celebrate those wins. It's a great way to stay motivated
Yeah, I like that.
and to remind yourself
Mm-hmm.
that you're making progress.
So speaking of motivation,
Yes.
that was kind of the last part of this podcast, right?
Yeah, they wrap up
Okay.
talking about motivation
Which makes sense.
because it can be tough,
Yeah, especially with long-term goals.
especially with those long-term goals.
Yeah, it's like you're working towards something
Right.
and you don't see the results right away.
Right. You need that drive,
Yeah,
that push to keep going.
exactly. So what do they recommend for that?
Well, they talk about accountability partners,
Okay.
finding someone you trust,
Mm-hmm.
a friend, family member
Yeah.
to share your goals with,
Gotcha.
someone who can encourage and support you along the way.
So it's like having a workout buddy,
Yeah.
but for your finances.
Exactly. It's your financial cheerleader,
I like it.
someone to keep you accountable.
That's cool.
And they also talk about
Yeah.
turning setbacks into learning opportunities.
Oh, yeah. Setbacks happen.
Setbacks happen. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
The key is not letting those setbacks derail you.
Right.
It's about analyzing,
Mhm.
learning from what went wrong,
Okay.
and then adjusting your strategy.
I remember when I made a pretty big investment mistake when I was first starting out.
Oh, tell me about it.
I got caught up in all the hype
Yeah.
about a specific stock, and I didn't do enough research.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, I learned my lesson.
I learned the hard way.
The hard way, yeah, but it taught me to do my due diligence.
Right.
And not let my emotions make decisions for me.
Exactly. That's a perfect example
Yeah.
of turning a setback into a valuable lesson.
Right.
And it highlights another key point
Okay.
from the podcast, which is flexibility.
Okay.
Life is unpredictable.
It is.
Your financial plan should be adaptable too.
That makes sense?
Things will change.
Yeah.
Unexpected expenses will pop up.
Right.
And that's okay.
It's all part of
It's
that.
part of the journey.
Yeah,
So we've covered a lot,
we have.
from defining goals to crafting a roadmap, leveraging technology,
Yeah.
building sustainable habits.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but they make it so approachable.
They do.
So what are some key takeaways
Yeah.
that you think our listener can start implementing, like, right away?
What can they do right now, today?
Well, first and foremost, it all starts with those SMART goals.
Okay, gotta have those good
Once
ones.
you have that clear vision,
Yeah.
you can start building that personalized roadmap.
Right.
And then it's about using those tech tools
Mm-hmm.
to automate your finances, make things easier.
Take some of the work off your plate.
Exactly. And finally,
Yeah.
don't underestimate those positive habits.
Right.
Pay yourself first.
Love that one.
Stay curious.
Yeah.
And remember to celebrate those wins.
Yes.
Because it's a journey.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Right.
Exactly.
It's like they say, fail to plan to fail.
Love that.
So even if it seems daunting at first,
Mm.
this episode really makes it clear that taking control of your finances,
Yeah.
it's totally within your reach.
Absolutely.
And what I love about their approach is that
Okay.
it's not just about the numbers.
Right.
It's about the mindset.
Absolutely.
It's the psychology of money.
Yeah.
And you know what? They end with
Yeah.
an incredibly thought-provoking question.
Okay.
They ask you to imagine
Mm.
achieving your biggest financial goal.
Okay.
And then what?
Whoa.
What impact would it have on your life?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do next?
Oh, I like that.
Powerful.
It makes you think about, like, not just the money,
Right.
but what it allows you to do.
Exactly.
You mentioned that you were thinking about, like, early retirement.
I am, yeah.
So, like, imagine what that would look like for you.
I mean, this episode actually has some really great tips
Yeah.
on front-loading your savings early on,
Mm-hmm.
which is essential if
Yeah.
you want to retire early.
Okay.
But think about, like, beyond the financial aspect. Yeah.
The freedom to pursue your passions,
Mm-hmm.
to spend more time with loved ones,
Right.
maybe travel the world.
It's like, it's a challenge to, like,
It is.
to dream bigger.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, what truly matters to you,
That's where it gets exciting.
that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, personal finance is a tool
It is.
to help you get what you want in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Align your finances with
Mhm.
your values and your aspirations.
Well said. So, for you listening, ready to start your own journey,
Yeah,
go back, check out the resources we talked about,
absolutely.
all the apps and tips.
The habits.
Stay curious, keep learning.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, every step you take, even if it's small,
It all adds up.
gets you closer to that dream.
And don't wait
Yeah.
for the perfect moment.
Right?
Take that first step today.
What could that be?
Maybe it's writing down your goals.
Okay.
Maybe it's downloading a budgeting app.
Okay.
You'll be amazed at what you can achieve
Yeah.
when you set your mind to it.
Totally agree. This deep dive has been so fun.
It has.
I hope it's been helpful for you.
Me too.
Until next time, stay curious.
Keep learning.
Keep reaching for those financial stars. You know, it's funny. We always focus on like the how of personal finance,
Yeah.
the budgeting and the investing and the apps and all that.
Right. Yeah.
But this episode, it really highlights the why, you know?
It does, yeah. They wrap up by
yeah.
asking you to imagine actually achieving that
Mhm.
big goal.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
What's the impact going to be
Yeah.
on your life? What doors will it open?
It's such a powerful question.
It is.
Because it makes you think about not just the money, but like what it lets you do.
Exactly.
You were talking about early retirement.
Hmm.
What would that look like for you?
Well, they actually have some good tips in this episode on how to like front load your savings
Okay.
early on,
Yeah.
which is essential
Right.
if you want to retire early.
Gotcha.
But think about it.
Yeah.
Beyond the financial part,
Mm-hmm.
like all that freedom,
Yeah.
you could pursue your passions.
Right.
You could spend time with your family,
Yeah.
maybe travel the world.
It's like they're challenging you.
It
Dream bigger.
Dream bigger. Yeah.
Love that. What
Yeah.
matters to you.
What matters most. Yeah.
And that's what makes it fun.
That's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, it's like personal finance is just a tool
It is. It is.
to help you get the things you want,
Absolutely. To design the life
Mhm.
that you want.
to align it with your values.
Align it with your values. Yeah.
So well said. So for anyone listening, ready to start their journey,
Yeah.
go back, check out those resources.
Yeah. The apps, the tips,
all that good stuff.
all that good stuff. The habits.
Stay curious, keep learning,
Mhm.
and every step,
Yeah.
no matter how small,
It all adds up.
it gets you closer to your goal.
And don't wait
Yeah.
for that perfect moment.
Don't wait.
Start today.
What could you do today?
Maybe write down your goals.
Okay.
Download a budgeting app.
Okay. Easy little steps
Little steps.
lead to big things.
That's it.
This has been awesome, this deep dive.
It has been fun.
I hope you found it helpful.
Me too.
Until next time,
Keep learning.
keep reaching for those stars.